Hello everyone, my name is Raqayeen, and today I will be reading Promises to Keep. Let us start. Please enter your name. We are just going to use the default name. Your name will be Leo. We are sorry to inform you that due to severe weather conditions, your upcoming flight has been cancelled. Please log into our app or visit to reschedule. Fuck. I just laid down, fur still wet from the shower, luggage packed and ready to go. I was bracing myself for a short night of sleep, but now it looks like I have no flight to wake up for tomorrow. I stare at the cancellation message, silently willing it to change into something else. It doesn't, of course. I pull myself off of my creaking mattress, reaching blindly for the suitcase I placed next to my bed. I unzip it and fish out my pillow and an extra blanket. I wrap it haphazardly around myself and stuff the pillow under my head, not even bothering to make the bed properly. My phone buzzes again. An email from the airline bringing another reminder of the cancellation. Yep, no escaping it now. I'm not going anywhere. I was really looking forward to leaving. After a prolonged minute of staring into nothingness, I begrudgingly open my flight app. The bright colors of the loading screen beam down on me. I roll over onto my side and watch the wind-beaten window, that thin sheet of glass keeping the blizzard at bay. What am I doing? There's literally no point in trying to reschedule now. A snowstorm like this will put the entire city out of commission for a while. I take one last look at my phone. Low battery mode, 3% power. I know the feeling. I flop my arm over the side of the bed once again, pawing around for the charging cable. The phone buzzes lightly as I plug it in, and I flip over to stare once again at the window. Sleep finds me faster than I expected. At least in my dreams, I'm somewhere else. Somewhere else? Then you want to live here? Didn't you promise, all those years ago, to all those people that you'd return? Now that you're here, you can't wait to leave. Face it, you've returned, but you're not really living here. You're just waiting to die. I shiver a little. Something feels off. I poke my head out of the tightly wrapped nest of blankets. My bleary eyes take a few moments to adjust to the bright light peeking through the curtains. What time is it? I reach for my phone on the nightstand, sleepily sweeping my paw around my desk until I find it. I groan. Guess it's on the floor now. I begrudgingly roll to the edge of the bed, still somewhat protected by my covers. Fishing my phone off the ground, I tap the screen to check the time. Nothing. I could have sworn I plugged it in. I get up, still swaddled in my blankets, and stumble over to the window. I open the curtains and... oh my god. I had known the storm was going to be serious, but standing at my frost-covered window, I'm greeted by huge, looming, mountainous piles of snow. It had been ages since I had seen anything like this. Adjusting my cocoon of blankets, I reach out a paw and place it gently against the glass, feeling the chill seep into my paw pits. The view through my window was comforting in a way. It reminded me of childhood mornings, the unparalleled excitement of a snow day, and the cozy security of a warm house in cold weather. I shiver again. A warm house? I look down at my still dead phone, then back up at the snow-encrusted window. My brain feels fuzzy and slow. unable to fully comprehend my situation. Wait. I turn and sweep into the living room, my blankets trailing behind me, and walk up to the thermostat on the wall. You've got to be kidding me. I can only see my reflection staring back at me in the temperature control panel, the interface itself blank and devoid of life. Suddenly it strikes me just how cold I am, how cold everything is, from the air brushing my face to the floor beneath my footpaws. The power must have gone out at some point during the night, and with it, of course, the heat. For a few long moments, I stand completely still in the center of the living room, attempting to process this turn of events. I trudge over to my fridge and open it out of instinct, but am quickly reminded that I cleaned it out last night. Probably for the best. This thing is useless without power. Defeated, I slowly walk to my chilled easy chair and sit, unsure of what to do. Without a clear way out of this mess, all I can do is start to daydream. I wonder if he's still here, enduring the storm like everyone else. Who am I kidding? I've been back here a whole year and there's been no sign of him. Not that I've actually scoured the city for him, but I've just been so busy. Work has been so busy. I've just got in the way. I'm jolted out of my thoughts by the doorbell. Startled, first standing on end a little, I crane my neck, trying to see the visitor through the frost-caked window. When that fills, I finally uncurl myself from my chair and step quietly toward the door. Peeking out the peephole, I can see nothing, just a white haze. It must be covered with snow. I jump as the knock sounds once again, right next to my head. Hello, anyone in there? My name's Theodore, and I live down the street. I'm just checking to make sure you're okay. Theodore. Yes, I remember running into him once or twice on the way to work. An Arctic fox, about 10-ish years older than me. I reach out a paw to open the door, then realize I'm still swaddled in blankets. I frantically shed my sheets and scramble about for a coat, cursing as I knock it on the floor. When I'm finally ready, I cautiously open the door. And the wind hits me like a truck. My fur fluffs up and I curl into my jacket, shivering. I'd expected my thick snow leopard pelt to keep me safe from the wind, but clearly I was wrong. The bundled up Arctic fox stands in my doorway, paw outstretched to knock again. Oh, hello, sorry for the surprise visit. Leo, right? I nod dumbly, too cold to give him a proper reply. He looks me up and down, concern plain on his face. I'm checking up on my neighbors. I understand a lot of people lost power last night, and he stops mid-sentence and takes a tentative step forward. Do you mind if I come in, and then we can shut the door? You look like you're freezing. I take a guilty look behind me in the state of my living room. It's a little messy, but okay. I step backward and let him shut the door behind him. Thank you, Leo. Some weather we're having, right? He gives me something between a grimace and a smile, clearly trying to lighten the mood as I shiver next to the door. He looks me up and down again. I nod once more, pulling my coat tighter around myself. I miss my blanket cocoon. How can I help you? Well, I'm hoping I can be the one to help you. His eyes scan the room, landing on the dead thermostat and the pile of blankets on the floor. I wince internally, thinking about what a mess the place is. It's looking like this whole side of the street lost power. As I understand it, the snowstorm knocked over a tree, which in turn uprooted an electric pole. Oh, my ears droop. That's pretty serious. He locks eyes with mine, then his voice gentle. Yes, I'm afraid it is. I'm sorry, but it looks like most of the neighborhood will be out of power for a few days at least. A few days? A panic starts to bloom in my chest, I was already freezing my ass off, and it was only going to get colder. Theodore seems to notice my alarm and gently reaches out to place a paw on my shoulder. I feel its warmth through my shirt, seemingly the only source of heat in the whole house. Leo, please don't worry. I would be happy to house you until your power comes back on. That's why I'm here. His voice drums me back to the present, and I look up at him. I still have electricity and an extra room for you, and with heating, of course. I'm actually housing a few other people as well, neighbors from this side of the street. You are more than welcome to join us for however long you need. The gears start turning in my head. Before this, Theodore and I seldom spoke, and now he's offering to house me? I didn't have any reason to be skeptical, but... I know this might sound like it's coming out of nowhere, but we haven't had a winter this bad in quite a while. Neighbors should look out for one another in times like these, right? A group of random people? At another person's house? Someone I didn't really know? And the crowd we've got is pretty friendly, I promise. The tone is warm, inviting, and absolutely genuine. I take one more look at the dead thermostat, and it stares back at me vacantly. Well, it seems to say, what other choice do you have? I take a deep breath and regain my voice. Okay, sure. If you don't mind, I'd love to stay at your place, at least until my power comes back. Theodore beams at me, clearly pleased. I'm glad to hear it. Why don't you gather some of your stuff to bring over, and let me know if you need a hand? No, I've got it covered. Give me just a second. I walk briskly to my room, heart pounding. I enter my room and grab the luggage I'd carefully packed yesterday. Fuck, it's so much colder in here than I realized. Trembling slightly, I take one more quick look around, slipping my dead phone and its charger into my pocket. I knew I was set on leaving this room and this house behind today, but I didn't expect it to happen like this. I exhale shakily, remembering to breathe. I have never been to Theodore's place. To be honest, we had barely spoken before this encounter. I'm not even sure I know which house is his. I begin to worry in earnest now, twisting the handle of my luggage between my frozen paws. I wasn't even supposed to be here. I was supposed to be on a flight going far away. Hey, come on, Leo, you don't have time to mope, or to panic. I adjust as myself lightly, remembering once again to breathe. How is it so easy to forget? I look down and realize I'm still wearing last night's clothes. I should probably change real quick, especially if I'm going to be meeting new people. Oh, God. Just keep moving. That's all you have to do. I take one more deep breath and release the handle of my bag. Just be normal. Theodore looks up from his phone as I return to the living room, glancing at my full luggage. No packed? Anything you need me to carry? No, I think I've got everything I'll need. It's just down the street. I can always come back. Fair enough. Ready to go then? I give the place one final look around. It looks back at me, cold and painfully familiar. Yeah, I think I am. Well, I'd suggest a warmer coat, and you'll definitely need snow boots. Huh? Mine's still fuzzy from the weather. I pause and look down at my clothes, then back up at Theodore. Look, I've been walking around in it all day. The wind is plain nasty, and the shallowest snowdrifts are thigh-high at least. I know we've both got some serious winter padding, and this storm is something else. Oh, of course, snow boots. I shake my head violently to clear my brain fog, but all that does is give me a headache. Right, sorry. Let me just... Theodore flashes me a warm smile. Take your time. I putter around in the messy room, collecting my thickest coat and sturdiest boots. My paws twitch slightly at how cold they are. It felt like everything in the house froze overnight, including my brain, I guess. I quickly zip up my coat and button over the zipper, then begin struggling with the boots. There we go, that's more like it. I try to give him a smile back. Ready to go, I promise this time. The snow stretches out in front of me, pristine, fresh, and almost paw print free. I take a few steps, disrupting the nearly perfect surface with my heavy boot-clad paws. Despite Theodore's warnings, I gasp slightly as my legs sink in past the knee, cold slush seeping into my jeans. I lift my head slightly, and the snowfall seems to slow for a moment as I take in my surroundings. In that lingering moment, the world seems so quiet, dampened by the hush of winter. Fat flakes dance around me on their way to the ground, piling higher and higher around my submerged boots. I resist the urge to stick my tongue out like I did as a kid as I watched them descend. I truly can't remember the last time the city had been this silent. The snowflakes start to accumulate on my snout, on my shoulders, on the sides of my coat, wherever they can find purchase. My snout starts to sing, yet my other senses feel so muffled. For a single precious second, the world seems to stop turning. All is silent, calm, and still. And then the wind picks up again, and the sweet, beautiful snowfall starts to blow directly into my face and eyes. I hiss in pain and hike up the hood of my coat. The howling gusts tear at the fabric, trying to rip it off and ruffle a challenge through my fur. It's like nature itself was reminding me of its preeminence. I feel the weight of my cold phone in my pocket, a victim to the wrath of the storm. I think of the plane I was supposed to board, grounded by the weather, buried like the cars on the street. I feel hopeless too, taking it all in. It's back in the endless wide ocean, whose tide could so easily sweep me away. I would be powerless to fight back. Then, a steady paw on my shoulder pulls me out of my thoughts. Hey, you alright? He's nearly shouting over the sound of the wind. I turn to face him, blinking, shaking the snow off my face. The gusts wane slightly, and I manage to get a few words out. Yeah, I'm just adjusting. I mean, I was born and raised here, but I don't ever remember seeing snow like this. Theodore nods. As far as I can remember, this is the worst it's ever been. I believe it. The cold starts to pierce through my layers, and I can feel a creeping wetness spreading underneath my socks. Theodore seems to be surveying the area as well, but I get a feeling he isn't just taking in the scenery. It'll be days, I think, before they can get the plows through here, and it's obviously still piling up, so... I can hear the worry creeping into his voice as he looks up and down the street. I look past him to my car, parked in the driveway, or at least what I think is my car. Only a vague shape is visible beneath the snow. That's for future us to worry about. He imbues his voice with some forced cheer and starts wading through what I assume is the sidewalk. For now, let's just get to someplace warm. I'm freezing my tail off out here. He leads the way, and I follow closely behind him. We walk slowly, with a wide, loping gait, footpaths testing for shallow spots, doing our best not to topple over. After only a few steps, I start following Theodore's trail exactly, tired of wading through the thigh-high drifts. We walk quietly, both of us devoting most of our attention to staying upright. I wasn't really in a conversational mood anyway. For some reason it felt wrong to talk too much out here. Winter was speaking. He could choose not to listen, but we shouldn't interrupt. After a minute or so, Theodore turns back to me and points towards a nearby house. This one's mine. I blink in surprise. It's huge. For some reason, I hadn't expected him to own the biggest house on the block. We walk up the partially shoveled porch steps, and he fishes a keyring from his coat pocket. I'll need to give this another shovel tomorrow. People will be coming and going. He turns the key and opens the door. We both hustle in and hurriedly shut it behind us, eager to escape the chill. The warmth in the living room is heavenly, courtesy of a robust heating system and a merrily crackling fireplace. I can feel my muscles finally begin to relax in response to the welcoming heat. I don't think I realized just how cold I had been until this moment. We're back, Theodore calls out as we enter the house, but I don't hear a response. They must be busy. Oh well, you can meet them later. As I struggle to remove my snow-filled boots, I can't help but ask, how many others are here? A smile returns to Theodore's face. He seems to have no shortage of those. Counting you, I'm expecting 5 guests in total. He sheds his coat, holds out his paw to take mine. He brushes off the clinging clumps of snow and hangs them neatly on a nearby rack. Some of them are still gathering their things. Not too many then. I wasn't sure what to expect, but I don't know if I could have handled something like a group of 10. Please, sit down. He gestures to a couch in front of the fire, and I readily fall into one of the seats. I resist the tempting urge to immediately curl up into the warm cushions. Theodore looks me over again and continues. Anything to drink? How about some warm tea? I prepared the leaves myself. I suddenly notice how wet my paw legs are, and guiltily shift them off of the couch. I think I'm good. To be honest, I kind of feel bad intruding in the first place, so... Theodore raises an eyebrow. Nah, I'm gonna stop you right there. As long as you're staying here, what's mine is yours. I promise you, there's no reason at all for you to feel bad or guilty. It's not as if the power outages are your fault. And speaking of, I felt how cold it was in your house. You must still be freezing. Please let me bring you a warm mug of tea. Alright, you got me. Some hot tea sounds wonderful right now. Excellent. I'll be back in just a second. He begins to walk through the kitchen. Theodore? He stops in the doorway and turns. Thank you. For all of this. It's my pleasure. And please, call me Theo. As Theo walks off to the kitchen, I remember the dead phone weighing down my pocket and begin to scan the room for an outlet. The living room is pretty well kept, much neater and more welcoming than my place when I still lived there. Do I still live there? I wonder where I'll be after the storm settles down. I find a suitable spot near the couch and start charging my phone. I wonder if I'll have any messages, or if it will just be updates on the cancelled flight. Just automated text sent by a computer. Then I hear paw steps as Theo returns to the living room, 2 steaming mugs in paw. Here, it's my favorite brew. White tea with chicory roots, hibiscus, coriander, and some other flavors. I think you'll like it. He holds a mug towards me as he sits, and I reach out to grab it with both paws, hungry for its warmth. Thank you. I lower my head to give the tea a sniff. It smells like... tea. I guess I don't really know anything about tea. As I lean in for a sip, Theo slips his phone out of his pocket. It tastes floral, with hints of citrus. It's pretty good, actually. I start to give a compliment, but Theo speaks first. Do you know the raptor in number 42? I've been trying to get him to join us here, but he hasn't responded to my texts. Didn't answer the door when I knocked either. Not really. I mean, I don't have his number or anything. I trail off lamely, hiding my snout in my mug. A few seconds of silence pass as Theo continues typing. I'm texting a friend of his, Artemis. He's the bird in number 60. The two of them are pretty close. He'll also be staying with us. I nod, trying to sip my tea as quietly as possible. I feel pretty bad to admit that I didn't know my neighbors at all, especially when Theo has gone out of his way to be so kind to me. You know, I think I'll just head over there again. The cold isn't good for scaly folks, and I want to make sure he's alright. Sounds good. Do you want me to tag along? Theo takes one look at me, tail wrapped around my soaking wet pant legs, clutching my mug to my chest. No, you still need to warm up. Just stay put. I'll be back soon. I nod, immensely grateful. I was in no rush to charge back into the storm. Theo gets up and walks to the door, slipping on his coat once again. Stay safe. And, I like the tea. I hold up my mug and give him a smile. Feel free to pour yourself another cup. I'll be back before you know it. The door swings shut, and I'm left alone with my tea and my thoughts. After a few more sips, I feel the comfortable heat start to seep into my core, slowly spreading throughout my body. I pull my still frozen foot paws up onto the couch and peel off my wet socks, tucking them into the side pocket of my bag. As the minutes pass, I start subconsciously prepping for company, my eyes fixed on the front door, waiting for it to open. I can do this. I can be normal. They'll come in through the front door any moment now. Then I hear a door shut somewhere else in the house. I nearly jump off the couch, startled, before remembering the other house guests. I just hadn't expected them to be here already. I take a deep breath, my puffed up tail swishing back and forth. Why am I so jumpy? I hear the gentle tap of paws coming down a flight of stairs, the sound getting louder. I sit up and prepare to meet whoever is coming, tucking my tail behind me to hide my nerves. Theo, I just got text from Artemis saying... Then the mystery guest comes into view. He stops mid-sentence, making eye contact with me, and gasps loudly, an audible mix of shock and wonder. Leo? My heart beats even faster. Those ear and fur patterns were unmistakable. It can't be. It had to be. Rofi? My heart drops. I feel time slow down around me. The dog freezes, eyes wide. He's clearly surprised, but I can't fully read his expression. Does he have some sort of grudge against me? Honestly, I'd understand if he did, given our history. We used to be the best of friends. Little memories flit across my mind. The vibrant colors of the tree in the town square, Rofi, the tree, and I all changing with the seasons. The smell of the playground grass during recess, freshly mown. The long nights we would spend talking, and the quickening beat of my heart when we would play fight. Especially when those fights turned into sleepy cuddles, and the last chocolate bar we shared before I left. Dark chocolate, bitter, and hardly any sweet. It's been over a decade since I last saw Rofi. Since my parents decided to uproot our lives and move across the country. I only broke the news to Rofi a few days before the movers made their final trip to our place, grabbing the last of our things. I just couldn't find a way to tell him without breaking his heart, or mine. Leaving felt wrong. It felt horrible. At the time, it felt like I would never recover. Neither would he. After that terrible conversation, we spent the last few days trying to pretend nothing was wrong. We couldn't just bring ourselves to talk about it anymore. And then, just like that, I left. He couldn't even see me off. We chatted back and forth a few times, long distance. Our talks grew less and less frequent until they stopped completely. He just wasn't a friend I could keep over the phone. Years passed, and I forgot. Perhaps I made myself forget. That's what I've always done with painful memories. A single question settles like a lump in my throat. A childish question. A question a kid asks when they know they've done something wrong. Are you mad at me? I open my mouth to ask it, but... Leo, it really is you! The bright orange dog breaks into a sprint across the room, arms outstretched. I barely have time to react before he tackles me in a soft, fluffy hug. Then we both fall back onto the couch, his momentum carrying us a bit too far. I lay there for a second, dazed. Then I feel him jump up from the couch. Sorry, it's been so long. You really are Leo, right? I didn't just hug some stranger. He really hasn't changed at all. He takes a seat next to me, eyes wide, but filled with energy. Still reeling from his football tackle, I find enough air in my lungs to respond. Yeah, it's me, Leo. Wow, it really has been a while. What, like 10, 12 years? He says this incredulously, counting on his paws. The guilt rises once again to the surface. I didn't think I'd ever see you again. Hey, Leo? You okay? I blink a few times, unball my stiff paws, and force myself to meet his eyes. Yeah, sorry, it's been a while, you know? I trail off, watching his face closely for a hint of sadness, a twinge of anger, anything really. But his expression doesn't really change. To an unknowing observer, it would seem we were only apart for a weekend. It has been. But it's just nice to see you again, really. The genuine warmth in his voice comforts me a little. Maybe he isn't mad? I feel the same way, really. Amidst all the craziness, it's nice to see a familiar face. Knowing that we've had to breach this topic at some point, I decided to take the leap. So, speaking of, what are you doing here? I wince a little, not the smoothest segue. But he takes my question and runs with it, like the master conversationalist I remember. You'd never believe it. His voice practically drips with sarcasm. But I stayed here for all of high school and then for college, at the suggestion of my parents. Oh God, or of his parents. Are they still the same? He rolls his eyes and nods. Yes, they are. So you're still under their thumb? Rufi puffs out his chest proudly. Actually, I moved out, so not as much, I guess? My eyes widen. His parents were the extremely overbearing type. They loved keeping him in the house, and would always give him shit for just asking to hang out with me on the weekends. And they were okay with that, you moving out? Well, sort of. That didn't sound too convincing. There's no way they would let him move out, not if they were at all the same people they were a decade ago. They, kinda made it happen themselves, really. I notice his tone drop slightly. I open my mouth and close it again, burning with curiosity but not wanting to pry. I decide to drop it for now and let the room go quiet. Anyway, enough about that. It takes him only a moment or two to perk up. He's always had the ability to lighten a conversation, and I was always jealous of that. I'm still jealous of it. What are you doing back at this time of year? Missed me so much that you traveled through snowstorm to see me? I resist the urge to flinch. Best to just tell him the truth now. It will come out eventually anyway. Actually, I've been back nearly a year. A year? Why haven't I seen you at all then? I fold a little into myself and drop my gaze, though I could tell he's surprised, not upset. Thank God, I'm not sure I could handle an upset Rofi right now. Or ever, really. Well, we just kinda lost touch after a while, and I figured we were both busy with school and work and all that, so I wasn't sure how to get in touch with you anyway. My excuses were feeble at best, but Rofi remained just as chipper as ever. But you thought about me at least. Phew, that's a relief. Glad I wasn't just a poor forgotten soul. Imagine little old me being lost forever in the depths of your mind. He draws out his last words dramatically and then sticks his tongue out at me. He delivers his quips with the same energy I remember from childhood, but with all that's happened, they would take some getting used to again. And now that I verbalized it, I guess I did think about him from time to time. Honestly, more than that. Hell, I was thinking about him this morning. How could I not, given how close we'd been? I think I was putting off our meeting because I'd expected it to be painful. I'd expected anger or tears but we really seemed to be picking up where we left off. Well, I'm surprised I haven't seen you around then. I always go on afternoon walks, and I feel like I know almost everyone who lives here. Well, I don't get out that much. Oh, I bet. Let me guess, a grocery haul once a month? Hey, come on. It hurts because it's true. I try to mumble something witty in response, but it falls flat. I'm right, aren't I? I still don't understand why you choose to stay in when your parents always let you go out whenever. Well, it becomes a lot less special when you can do it anytime. Sure, but having that freedom beats being trapped in a house every weekend of your childhood. He was right. When we were kids, he spent pretty much every weekend stuck upstairs in his room. Every Saturday, I would always try to sneak him a treat through his window. I would buy 2 of some new candy the mall was carrying, and we would walkie-talkie each other from across the street, critiquing our little snack like we were on TV. He got really good at catching candy from his second-floor window. That was a Saturday night ritual. He'd always eat dinner extra fast so he'd have more time to enjoy a secret dessert with me. But now it seems like we've completely switched our house-leaving habits. How ironic. Simpler times, huh? I don't miss them as much as you. You were probably the only thing that made it bearable back then. I could feel my face warming up. I hadn't expected such a compliment. You're blushing. I can't believe I can see it through your fur. He reaches out to playfully poke my cheek, but I bat his paw away, more amused than annoyed. He sticks his tongue out at me again, then swishes his tail slowly. So, what did you get up to once you left? He always did have a talent for tonal whiplash. Guess that hasn't changed either. Well, nothing much. Moved to a new city, went to a new high school with new people. I bet you were super popular. Everyone here loved you. One look at his face told me that he wasn't being sarcastic. Are you kidding? You were always the popular one. It wasn't a contest. And I promise we all missed you lots after you moved. I don't believe you, but anyway. My new school was really different. Way, way bigger. Even the teachers were overwhelmed by the size of our class. I mean, I guess I made a few friends, but I never really connected with anyone there. To be honest, I was counting down the day till I could move away to college. Back then, I just wanted to be somewhere else. And has that changed? I pushed the thought away. And was it better? College, I mean. Yeah, it was. This is gonna sound cheesy, but it helped me find myself a bit, Rofi's ears perk up and his smile widens. He's clocking us. So, Leo, tell me, who are you? He mimes a microphone and holds it up to my face. Well, The truth was that I realized I was queer. It's not like I really tried to keep it a secret anymore, but something about telling Rofi was giving me a pause. Maybe the rush of old feelings and old fears. I cleared my throat. Well, I figured out that we both jump as something slams in the front door. What was that? Rofi leaps off the couch and speeds over to the door, leaning in to peer through the peephole. Oh, it's just Theo and Artemis and his friend. The door swings open to reveal Theo, or more accurately, Theo's arms holding two huge boxes. Rofi and I back away from the door, letting him stumble into the house. He sets down the boxes near the coat rack, clearly out of breath. What is all this? As Theo catches his breath, I hear a soft, timid squeak. A scaly, crested head pops into view behind Theo's hunched form. Oh my god, look at his puffy jacket. Sorry, that's my stuff. I wasn't sure if bringing all this was okay, but everyone insisted. I figured that I would want my monitor set up here if I was going to be here for a while. But I really didn't want to be a nuisance and... The flustered dino gets cut off by another voice, silky and smooth. Hey, relax. We already said it was alright for you to bring your things. I'm gonna grab Hunter to help us with these. Theo says with a chuckle, once again shedding his snowy coat. There's no way I'm carrying them upstairs without him. As Theo kicks off his boots, the source of the velvety voice comes into view. A bird. Burp. Some kind of blue jay was my guess, but he looks like he just came from some crazy music concert, and with only a few hoodies wrapped around his slight frame. How was he not cold in that? Both the dino and bird are holding boxes, the dino's mostly taken up by a massive computer monitor, and the bird's filled with miscellaneous items. Oh, before I forget. Leo, Rofi, this is Oliver. Theo gestures to the dino, who gives me a nervous grin. Theo then indicates the bird. And this is Artemis. The bird nods at me once, adjusting the box in his talons. And Rofi, I think you and Artemis know each other already. Rofi gives Artemis a smile and a wave. He nods again, looking slightly bemused. They'll both be staying with us as we wait out the storm. It's nice to meet you both. Theo then excuses himself to grab the mysterious Hunter, who I still have yet to meet. Rofi moves to shut the door behind us, scooping up one of the boxes and springing up the stairs after Theo. We have guests! As they both settle into the warmth, Artemis lets out a comical sigh. That dog has too much... Oh wait, that's ought to fuck me. Alright. The dog has too much energy. One of these days his threads will wear out. I clear my throat quietly, gearing up once again for small talk. So, you do know Rofi then? When did you two meet? I remember him saying he texted you earlier. I moved here pretty recently, but I always see him going for walks, and he usually invites me to join him. Typical dog behavior. Speciesist. Artemis starts to make his way to the couch as he talks, and Oliver and I follow. The bird and I both sit. Oliver gently pokes at one of the cushions with a claw, testing it, then joins us in front of the fire. Yeah, that does sound like Rofi, always looking to make friends. By the way, you're Leo, right? The same Leo he went to school with? He's mentioned you once or twice. Another twinge of guilt, though not as strong as before. After all, Rofi hadn't really seemed upset earlier. Yeah, that's me. Nice. I usually garbage with names, so apologies in advance if I forget. Same. I'm sorry, but I will forget your name. No worries. Can I just make sure I've got your names right, too? I point at the blue jay. Artemis? Yup. And Oliver, right? The dino doesn't respond immediately. He shuffles a little in his seat, looking like he's deciding whether or not to correct me. Sorry, I'm wrong, aren't I? No. I can see the gears in his head turning. But, I prefer to be called XXX Lord Gamer XXX. You could just call me Ollie, though. If you want. With Theodore in the room, I guess I just wanted to introduce myself properly first, rather than start with nicknames. Because, well, he's our senior, right? I didn't want to lead with such a childish nickname. The dino loses steam as he talks, and his long-winded explanation trails off in a mumble. Artemis cocks his head inquisitively. You know he goes by Theo, right?
Does he?
Ollie seems genuinely surprised by this. He begins gnawing on a talon thoughtfully. And he's not that much older than we are. What is he, 30-something? He's still got a few more years before assisted living. I can't help but snort at Artemis's joke, hiding my laughter behind a paw. He gives me a small wink, amusement playing in his eyes.
Really? But he seems to have his shit together.
Ollie mumbles, stuffing his claws deep into his hoodie pocket. Well, I still think Ollie is a cute name, and Theo's a chill guy. I wouldn't worry about it. Artemis speaks firmly, but not harshly, and Ollie nods softly in response. From the look of it, these two have known each other for quite a while. Something about their dynamic feels very comfortable, very lived in. If it matters, I agree. They both look at me, Ollie in surprise, Artemis in gratitude. I'll admit, I don't know Theo that well, but I don't think he's the judgy type. He wouldn't have invited us all to stay otherwise. And I also think Ollie is a cute name.
Thanks.
The conversation is suddenly interrupted by two sets of paws coming downstairs. Alright everyone, last introduction. Theo stands aside to reveal a raccoon with a warm, goofy smile. He raises his paw to wave, his t-shirt rippling over a layer of bulky, well-built muscle beneath. Yo, name's Hunter. I'm in town for winter break, but... He gestures to the window. We all know how that's going. Anyway, I heard there were boxes for me to carry. I figured he was an athlete of some sort. Judging from his physique and the mention of winter break, he looks too built to be a casual gym goer at least. I wonder what his workout routine is, for him to look like that. Artemis speaks up and motions to the boxes on the floor. We just need help with these three. The other one is mine. Sweet! Something to lift. Let me just... I watch him hoist two boxes up in the air, effortlessly. I'll come back for the screen. I don't want to damage that. I can plainly see the relief on Ollie's face. Oh, sorry, I didn't get y'all's names. Artemis.
Ollie. Oliver. Oliver.
Ollie stops mid-word, eyes flicking to Theo and back. Out of the corner of my eye, I see Artemis raise an eyebrow. And I'm Leo. Great to meet y'all. Be back in a sec. He follows Theo back upstairs. Each step he takes is as light and careful as when he came down. It was like the boxes didn't weigh anything to him. Did he really say sweet something to lift? What a guy. His tone is snarky but not malicious.
Showing off, I guess.
Ollie chuckles nervously.
But I mean, he was nice enough to carry all the stuff I brought, so... Gosh, I really should have left most of it behind if I had...
Ollie. Artemis interrupts him gently. Theo said it was fine, remember? Then you saw how excited Hunter was to have something heavy to carry. You practically did him a favor. Ollie seems to settle slightly in his seat, his nervousness abating somewhat.
Right, sorry.
Nope. And that gets a real laugh out of Ollie, showing off a mouth of razor-sharp teeth. The bird looks up from his phone and makes eye contact with me. And this is a little game me and Ollie play sometimes. Whenever he apologizes unnecessarily, I just say nope.
It does help, actually. Well, until I forget again.
Yeah, until you forget again. Don't worry, I'll keep doing it. I hear Hunter coming back down the stairs without Theo this time. Hey, Ollie, Theo wants to show you your room. I can see Ollie freeze up as he hears his nickname, but he tries his best to play it off.
Oh, coming.
Welcome to. Leo, you joining us? I think I'll hang here a bit more. Might be nice to get a moment to myself. Animus gives me a lazy thumbs up and rises from the couch. He stretches his wings out a bit, then he bends over to grab his box. We'll see you later then. And just like that, the living room goes quiet again. I exhale, remember to breathe, Leo, and settle back into the couch cushions. I hadn't really been prepared for meeting so many people in such a short time, and for reconnecting with an old friend too. I take a moment to relish the silence, knowing it will be in short supply in the coming days. Sure enough, it isn't long before more paw steps echo in the stairwell. I hear some audio coming from a phone, followed by a familiar soft giggle. Then Rofi hops off the second last step and comes into view. Hey Leo, what you up to? He makes his way to the couch and plops down, laying leisurely on his back. Just taking a breather. I didn't think I'd see so many new faces today.
I know, right? Isn't it so exciting?
Well, I mean, yes. But it's also exhausting. I chuckle a little, and it turns into a yawn. I instinctively curl into the soft couch cushions. Okay, sleepyhead. Enjoy your peace and quiet down here. I curl up even more, a mischievous smile spreading across my face. Sure am. No orange dogs barking my ear off. I study him carefully, testing the waters. But to my relief, he commits to the bit, letting out an exaggerated gasp and throwing a dramatic paw over his forehead. Then he gives me a cute pout accompanied by the softest set of puppy dog eyes. How rude! And here I was, about to invite you to hang with me until dinner. I sit up, clearly a little interested. I was just gonna play a video game, lay around, you know. Just as I'm about to respond, we hear more paw steps on the stairwell. Hey, you two, just here to grab the last box. Rofi and I both wave to him. Leo, you've met Hunter, right? Just a few minutes ago, yeah. Hunter bends down to scoop up the cargo. Yup, we're best friends already. Wow, Leo, for someone who leaves the house once a month, you seem to make friends pretty quickly. I force a smile, wincing internally. If only he knew how wrong he was. Hey, maybe they've got all the practice they need, 100% friend rate whenever they meet someone new. They both laugh, bouncing off of each other's energy. The two of them together are silly, but I could see them being a bit much, too. Oh, dang! Hunter points to one last box lying forgotten near the door. There's another monitor in that box? Hey, Leo, wanna grab that for me? I don't want to carry too many fragile things at once. Now you're stealing Leo from me? How could you? He nudges me playfully. See, I told you. You were always the popular one. You can have them back after they help me with the boxes. You all gotta do our part around here, right? I can tell he's joking, but the comment still sends a jolt of guilt down my spine. Of course I'll help. Once we get this settled, then... I'm interrupted by Theo shouting down the stairwell. Hunter, you got that box yet? Oh, that's our cue. We're coming, Theo. I don't want to shout that much. I scurry over and grab the remaining box, surprised by its unexpected weight. Hunter turns to Rofi, who's now making himself comfy on the couch, absorbed in his phone. I have too much fun by yourself now. What? No, I'm coming too. He sticks out his tongue at Hunter, and in record time jumps off the couch and zips past him up the stairs. And there he goes. I always said he should try out for track. You two know each other? I feel like I'm doing a bad job keeping up here. Yeah, same college. I mean, he's graduated, obviously, but we were buds. Makes sense. They seemed way too comfortable around each other to have just met today. I should ask them about that sometime. Anyway, we're needed at the front line. Hunter bounds upward, humming a jaunty tune. There once was a ship that took to say the name of the ship was a brilliant. As I start to follow, I take a moment to adjust my grip on the box, and my eyes fall on the numerous photos adorning the stairwell walls. Many of them were of presumably Theo's childhood. They spent camping, playing in the yard, at the amusement park. One in particular catches my eye. A teenage Theo, lankier and less tired-looking, and a tall, broad-shouldered woman, another Arctic fox, standing side by side in front of a new car. Maybe him and his mom? They look very alike in the photo. Same fluffy white fur, similar face and snout. Someone had written in neat, clipped cursive on the bottom left corner of the photo, Theo's 17th birthday, 2005. Theo was a cute kid, huh? I chuckle softly, adjusting my box again. Sorry, I got distracted. Hey, no worries. Maybe we can ask him about some of these later. We'll have plenty of time to kill. I glance back at the photo of him and the woman. Their smiles are wide, bright, and unabashedly joyful. Come on, man, let's not keep him waiting any longer. Sorry. I turn and follow Hunter's swinging ringtail up the stairs. At the top, we find Theo leaning against the wall, phone in paw. Still looking for others to join us? Theo looks up as we clear the top of the stairs. Oh, yeah, I'm just making sure no one else needs anything before it gets dark out. Hunter grins. You're a good egg, Theo. I nod, heartily in agreement. Yeah, it's awesome that you're looking out for so many people. We'll really appreciate it. Oh, well, He clears his throat. His voice is a little huskier than normal. It's nothing, really. It's a big place. Might as well put it to use. And it has everything. Wi-Fi, food, electricity. Hunter fakes a little shiver. Heating. Who wouldn't want to live here? I suppress a chuckle and roll my eyes at the Rofi-like performance. Well, I'm happy you're making yourself at home. Oliver is staying in that room down the hall. Rofi already ran past, as I'm sure you noticed. Right on cue, I hear his muffled purr of laughter. Theo leads us over and knocks gently to announce our presence. Come in. Theo pushes the door open. Artemis is sitting in the middle of the floor, chatting with Rofi while he unpacks. Ollie, on the other hand, is scurrying around the room, holding 5 trailing cables in one hand and his phone in the other, muttering to himself. I just gotta put this here, and this cable should go on the desk, and, oh gosh, who's texting me right now of all times? We interrupting anything? Oliver, are you, finding everything you need? Oliver doesn't reply, engrossed in answering his phone. He's just getting organized. As hard as that is to believe. I'd say he moves faster than me, which, is pretty fast. Artemis gives Rofi a look. Yeah, I don't get the point of inviting me on walks if you're going twice my speed the whole time. Hey, I slow down for you sometimes. How magnanimous. I am forever in your debt. Though I'm enjoying their banter, and I can tell Theo is too, the heavy box is starting to take its toll on my arms. I open my mouth but struggle to break into the conversation. Sneak a glance at Hunter, but predictably he doesn't seem to be struggling in the slightest. Anyway, that's good to hear. Just wanted to check in. Artemis, have you taken a look around your space yet? I know it's a basement, but I promise it's actually pretty comfortable. It's perfect for me. I need a lot of space. My eyes dart around the room, looking for a proper space to put this thing down. I rearrange my grip and feel a jolt of pain through my wrist. Great. It was nice of you to trade rooms with Oliver. I suppose it can get a little chilly down there.
Whoa! You'd never show me that kind of benevolence, Hardy.
I just know he'll be more comfortable up here. He can tell pretty minute differences in temperature, and gets anxious without any windows too. Reaching my limit, I open my mouth to say something, but at that moment, I feel the box starts to slip out of my paws. Before I can react, the handle slides neatly from my grip and drops like a stone. Oh fuck! I see a flash of movement as Hunter lunges just in time. In a split-second reaction, he shifts his box into his right arm and leans into a half-squat, perfectly catching the falling item from beneath. Phew! Warn me next time you're about to drop an expensive piece of tech. For a terrible moment, I just stand there, feeling the stares of everyone in the room pouring into me. Even Ollie snapped out of his intense focus to watch. My ears flattened tight against my head. Oh God, I'm so sorry. My voice breaks the spell, and Ollie zooms over to us, snatching the lid off the box and peering inside. He lets out a deep breath.
And don't worry about it. Nothing's broken.
Thank God. I was just holding it fine, and then...
No, please, don't apologize. No harm done, really.
Ollie smiles and meets my eyes, and incredibly, I believe him. I smile back gratefully. Yeah, no harm done. I was just messing with you. Although I hope you'll know I can't hold this pose forever.
Oh, sorry.
Ollie hops over to the desk, swiping a number of objects onto the floor. Ollie, I just organized the stuff you put there.
You can leave both of them here on the desk. Thank you so much.
Hunter straightens with ease, languidly walks the two boxes over and turns to Theo. Need anything else, boss? Nope, that's it for now. Though, we'll call you if that changes. Always at your service. Hunter walks out the hallway, motioning for me to follow. Hey, I'm probably gonna head back to my room and relax a little. Wanna join? Rofi gasps in mock indignation and is at my side in an instant, clutching my arm. I knew you were trying to steal Leo from me. Ah, yes, Rofi's famous puppy dog eyes. As deadly as always. Oh, easy there, I'm no thief. We can all just hang out in my room. The more the merrier, right? But there's this new game I want to try out and there's only 2 controllers. I put my mouth to ask why we can't just take turns, and then I realize he wants to spend more time with me alone, just the two of us playing video games like back in the old days. Hunter laughs and leans forward, committing to Rofi's bit. Don't be greedy, Rofi. You two have known each other for so long. Leo and I have to make up for lost time. The raccoon gives me a knowing look and a twinkle of amusement in his eye. Seems like someone wants some one-on-one time with you, Leo. But for real, it's your choice. Just know my door's always open, too. Rofi giggles, breaking character for a moment, before snapping back into the lethal pout. Of course. Feel free to leave poor old Rofi behind. Those eyes used to destroy me, but now I can see his laughter behind them. I don't think he'll actually be mad if I hang out with Hunter for an hour or two. After all, we'll have plenty of time to spend together over the next few days, or however long it takes. It really was my choice. Who should I hang out with? Critical choice. Alright, folks. I think it is time to stop here, and we'll see you in the next episode. I like leaving things in a cliffhanger, but thank you so much for watching, and as always, stay Yeeny, everyone. Bye bye. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay Yeeny.